It's new at 10 tonight. The Ozark City Council not changing course on its opposition to the state's plan to build that new prison in Franklin County. That includes a reported plan by the state to use Ozark City water to supply the prison. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer tells us city leaders say they haven't gotten a single call from the state about that plan.
Ozark Mayor Roxy Hall says she kept hearing rumors the state may want Ozark to supply water to the new prison, but so far there's been no direct contact.
Thankfully, Mr. Jack Wells kept saying, you've got to talk to Ozark. You have got to talk to the water superintendent. He gave them our personal cell phone numbers. He gave them the city numbers. We never heard from them.
Hall says eventually she learned why no one had reached out. The city's own resolution adopted in February opposing the project was apparently keeping the state away. Someone told her she needed to reach out with a letter.
I'm not and will not write a letter without these guys' permission.
Councilmember Randy Melton says it would cost around $90 million to expand the city's water system enough to support the prison, on top of the almost $23 million already needed for critical upgrades.
I want that to be clear. We do not have the capacity, even if we have these infrastructures in place that need to be repaired, we still couldn't do what they're wanting us to do.
Council members say they're open to discussions.
If somebody from the state really wants to know, they need to stand up and wave their hand.
But the request can't come through rumors or third parties.
I make a motion that we wait until we hear from an official in an official capacity from the prison project or the governor's office before we make any move forward to have any kind of conversation with them.
In Ozark, covering news where you live, Lauren Spencer, 5 News.
The motion opposing the plan was passed unanimously tonight. Now the mayor says she will wait to hear from the state in an official capacity before recommending any other steps. Fort Smith City directors, meanwhile, tonight deciding not to decide for now, spending a little more than $5 million to combine Fort Smith and Sebastian County dispatch centers. That $5 million is part of an agreement with Motorola for a 190-foot radio tower and 10 radio systems. Directors put off making any decision until sometime next spring. 2019 state law requires counties to merge all 911 operations. The deadline for Sebastian County is January of 2027. We got new information today from the Benton County Prosecutor's Office about a utility worker hit by a driver on Friday. The family of 30-year-old Keaton Lawson tells us he was hit Friday in Bella Vista while he was directing traffic. Josh Robinson with the Benton County Prosecutor's Office says the driver did submit to a blood test. Right now, Robinson is waiting for the results to find out if the driver was intoxicated.
It's really important to remind people that, you know, if you're being dangerous and you cause harm to somebody that's just an innocent person out there working, then there's going to be consequences. And I think it's important to put that out there. You know, it's also important to take a close look and understand that sometimes there was not a crime.
Lawson's family tells us he is not expected to survive. They say his organs are being donated. We also learned the trial date for the suspect in a deadly hit-and-run crash in Springdale during an arraignment today. Jose Moreno pled not guilty to charges of leaving the scene of an accident. Judge also set a trial date for January 5th. Prosecutors allege he fled the scene after hitting Juliet Juwambi Kamanta, who was riding a bicycle at the time of the crash. Moreno is being held tonight in the Washington County Jail while he awaits his trial. After 41 days, an end to the nation's longest ever government shutdown may be in sight. The Senate passed funding legislation tonight that could bring the shutdown to an end as soon as this week. This comes as thousands of flight cancellations and delays continue. Erica Brown has the very latest.
On this vote, the ayes are 60, the nays are 40. The bill as amended is passed.
The Senate passed funding legislation Monday, taking a major step toward ending the government shutdown after a group of Democrats broke with their party and voted with Republicans to end the stalemate.
We could not let this shutdown continue to go on with the harmful consequences growing worse with each passing day.
The agreement funds the government through January 30th, reverses shutdown-related layoffs, and guarantees back pay to all federal workers. It also includes 3 longer appropriations bills with funding for SNAP benefits. The deal does not include an extension of Affordable Care Act tax credits, a key demand from Democrats during the shutdown, only the promise of a vote in December.
The overwhelming majority of Senate Democrats, led by Leader Schumer, are opposing this bill. We're going to continue that fight to fix our broken healthcare system.
President Trump said he supports the deal.
Too bad it was closed, but we'll be opening up our country very quickly.
The amended bill will still need House approval, and Speaker Mike Johnson urged members to return to Washington quickly for a possible vote. If the House can pass the measure with these changes, it heads to the president for his signature. As the deal works its way through Congress, flight disruptions continue at airports nationwide. On Monday, more than 2,000 flights were canceled. In a social media post, President Trump urged air traffic controllers to return to work, threatening to dock their pay, but said he would recommend a $10,000 bonus for those who stayed on the job during the shutdown. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune made a promise to Democrats who crossed party lines. The Senate would vote next month on federal health care subsidies that help millions afford insurance. The pandemic-era program is set to expire at the end of this year. They expanded both the size of the tax credits and who qualified, allowing access for more middle-income families. Matthew McGuff, a policy analyst with nonprofit health research group KFF, says premiums could soar if next month's vote does not result in Congress extending the program.
Now 24.3 million people are part of the marketplaces. 22 million of those people, or over 90%, receive a premium tax credit. On average, KFF estimates that people will see their premium payments, the amount that they pay out of pocket to receive health insurance, increase by 114% next year. And that's purely just because of the loss of the enhanced premium tax credits.
Senate, by the way, is expected to vote on this in early December. Here at home, the Bella Vista Police Department offering Warrant amnesty this week in exchange for unopened Christmas toys. Anyone with nonviolent misdemeanors may turn themselves in through this Friday. They'll be released on simple citation to appear in court. The police department says all the donated toys will go to the annual Shop with a Cop program.
We have a lot of warrants, outstanding arrest warrants, so we thought a good way to get people to come in and take care of their warrants is to offer an amnesty week. And in this time of the year, we want to benefit the community somehow, and having people bring in a toy for the Shop with a Cop is the best idea, and the best time is this time of the year.
That program only applies to warrants issued out of the Bella Vista District Court. Veterans Day is tomorrow, but today in Fayetteville, the Veterans Healthcare System of the Ozarks honored those who have served. VA recognized local Army veteran Jeremy Carpenter, whose artwork was chosen for this year's National Veterans Day poster. The event ended with the release of white pigeons. It's a symbol of hope and a reminder of the effort to prevent veteran suicide. We spoke with the interim medical center director, who told us this is especially close to her heart.
I have a stepson who served in the Navy, and he committed suicide about 10 years ago, and so for me that is a very important mission to keep always at front and center, and I don't want any soldier to feel alone, or any airman to feel alone, any service member to feel alone, that there's always somebody you can talk to.
Today also marks the 250th birthday of the U.S. Marine Corps. On November 10th, 1775, John Adams drafted a resolution that created what was then known as the Continental Marines. That date now observed as the birth date of the U.S. Marine Corps. Right now, there are more than 200,000 active duty and reserve Marines serving in the U.S. military.